KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Right now on GMSA, former inmates and families of current inmates demanding an internal investigation into the rising death toll at the Bexar County Jail. How BCSO is now responding.
And one of our worst days ever. That's how Australian firefighters are describing the last 24 hours of battling fires across that country. How authorities say the wildfire is now bigger than Manhattan.
And back here at home, taking a live look out at the Alamo City, 40 degrees to start your Monday morning. What is the rest of the day? What does this upcoming week look like? Our Sarah Spivey has the full forecast coming up. Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on Sunday, January 5th, and we are joined right off the bat with our own Sarah Spivey.
Guys, how are y'all doing this morning?
Pretty good. It kind of feels like yesterday, starting off at 40 degrees.
Definitely, and I'm glad you bring that up because it's pretty much going to be a carbon copy forecast from yesterday. So everybody can be a meteorologist today because what we got yesterday, we're going to get today. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer, though, in the afternoon, so low to mid 70s rather than near 70 for the high.
But nice.
Nice, yeah, and we're also going to talk about the pollen count. We're going to talk about what could possibly aggravate the mountain cedar count over the next few days and rain chances. We need rain, guys.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, an internal investigation of the Bexar County Detention Center. That's what a group of former inmates and families of currently incarcerated people, they're now demanding it.
Now, the group is being led by the national grassroots civil rights organization All of Us or None, and the request for the investigation comes after the rising death toll of the inmates at the facility.
Alicia Abrera live this morning with more.
Well, according to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, 10 deaths of inmates were reported here at this facility in 2019, but this group simply says that it's one too many. According to records from Bexar County Sheriff's Office, some deaths were linked to medical complications, others by suicide, and one by homicide. The group of protesters met yesterday at the steps of the jail, and they're calling for a review of policies as well as a review of those running the facility. I spoke to Stephen Huerta. He's an ex-convict, and now he leads the San Antonio chapter of All or None of Us. He says many families of inmates who died still have a lot of questions, and they want those questions answered by Sheriff Javier Salazar.
We want accountability, and that accountability cannot happen until the administration admits that this past year was not a good year, and you can't brush it off.
And this group did hear from at least one of the candidates running for Bexar County Sheriff's Office, but these families say they want to hear directly from BCSO, and this is what the agency responded in relation to the protest. It says, quote, "This group has the right to peacefully assemble, and we will ensure they are offered the opportunity," end quote. And well, this was not the response that the group hoped for, but they say that they'll continue to raise their voices to get these questions answered surrounding the death of their family members and to see if anything could have been prevented for these deaths. Reporting Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Alicia. In your morning headlines, several U.S. aircrafts and vehicles were destroyed during an attack on a military base used by U.S. and Kenyan troops in Kenya. The attack was conducted by the Al-Shabaab extremist group. Kenyan officials say they were able to overthrow the attackers and killed 4 of them. 5 suspects were arrested and are being interrogated. The camp where the attack took place was established more than a decade ago. Less than 100 U.S. personnel are stationed there, and no U.S. or Kenyan deaths were reported.
And in Italy, at least 6 people are dead, 11 more injured after a car plowed into a group of German tourists. Now, the crash happened shortly after 1 this morning as the people were gathered to board the bus. Police say the driver had a high alcohol blood content. He was arrested and is now being treated at the hospital for his injuries.
Moving on to Australia, where 3 wildfires have combined, forming a single blaze bigger than the New York borough of Manhattan.
The death toll is rising as conditions get worse and worse. The Australian Prime Minister now saying 23 people have been killed across their country. That's up from 18 from earlier this week.
CNN's Melissa Rainey has the latest.
3 fires joined together in the Omeo region of Australia, creating a single wildfire covering 23 square miles. That's bigger than Manhattan. But that's just one fire. There are over 200 fires burning in Australia. When you add them all up, the area burned is around 23,000 square miles, 14.6 million acres. That's the equivalent to the states of New Jersey, Maryland, and Delaware combined. The Australian Navy helping thousands to evacuate from Malakuta, Victoria, mobilizing its largest Navy ship to evacuate people along the southeast coastline.
Look, I'm feeling a bit relieved, to be honest, to get off that beach, get out of the smoke, actually.
One evacuee described just how bad it was in a smoke-filled area.
It's 2 in the afternoon, and this is what we're in. We're going to be hanging out inside and waiting for the next air evac.
This picture of a firefighter giving water to a kangaroo, giving a glimpse into the impact the fires have had on wildlife. Firefighters from the U.S. are aiding in the fight.
Looking forward to the opportunity to reciprocate to our Australian brothers and sisters the same assistance they've given us for many years that they've come over here and helped us.
Victoria has declared a state of disaster and New South Wales has declared a state of emergency, both granting extraordinary powers and additional government resources to battle the fires. I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
And several celebrities are stepping up this morning to help Australian firefighters battling the flames there. Aussie couple Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have donated $500,000 to the Rural Fire Services. And singer Pink is also donating another $500,000.
And time now 6:06, 40 degrees out.
And not a very good start to the year for the San Antonio Spurs. They have yet to win a game in 2020, but hey, 2020 just started, right? Highlights from last night's game against the Milwaukee Bucks.
And police in Arizona stepping up in a big way, still ahead on GMSA, how they were able to bring some winter cheer to a toddler who was sick.
And taking a look outside with a live cam this morning, cold 40 degrees. It'll get cool and then it'll get nice. It'll be nice. Yesterday was nice. We're hoping for the same today. We're going to check in with Sarah for your full details just ahead.
Good morning and happy Sunday. Just about 6:10 this morning, 40 degrees, but we saw this yesterday and it turned out to be a gorgeous day out.
It was beautiful yesterday.
Very nice.
It really was, but that mountain cedar, man. Whoa,
I know.
It was past 20,000 yesterday, and we'll have to wait and see what the pollen count is today. But at least we're not dealing with those bushfires that are out in Australia, and they're so prevalent that you can actually see them on the satellite imagery here. This is Australia. This imagery is supplied by the National Weather Service. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to the Sydney area, and I'll talk about this in a bit. Can you see the smoke plumes? They're pretty obvious. These are clouds, the white fluffy clouds, and then that gray smoke plume just encompassing the southeastern coast of Australia. So not only does satellite imagery help us to see meteorological phenomena, it also helps us see and pinpoint where fires are, not only for us around the U.S., but also around the world. So a very fascinating picture there of a tragic event going on. Bushfires are normal in Australia, but for them to be this out of control, that of course is not very normal. Let's take a look outside right now. It is 40 degrees at the airport, and we are looking at temperatures really just going to go up from here, maybe down a degree or two before sunrise, but still it's a chilly morning. It's 48 up at Bernie Stage Airfield, 30 in Kerrville, below freezing in Tarpley and in Hondo. It's 37 at Stinson, 33 down in Pleasanton. Again, there could be some areas of patchy light frost out there where temperatures are dipping to below freezing, but here in San Antonio we'll stay above freezing this morning. By about 10, should be nice and cool, 57 degrees, but warmer than what we're at right now. Comfortable in the afternoon, 68 right around noon, the lunch hour, and then 74 for the high today, so just a smidge warmer. Yesterday we were able to see a high of 72, so just a little bit warmer, and a southwesterly breeze at 5 to 10. I'm hoping that that southwesterly wind is going to help to knock down mountain cedar just a couple of points, but again, that's a hope and a prayer. All right, out across the nation, it's quiet around the Central Plains, but that's because we've got a high pressure system right over West Texas. This is keeping our atmosphere dry. So although there is a cold front just north of the Texas Panhandle, it's not going to bring us any rain, and it's really not going to drop temperatures too much. I'm going to call it a cool front just because temperatures will dip from the 70s tomorrow for the high into the 60s on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we'll warm back up by Thursday and Friday, and we get another cool front late Friday night into Saturday morning. Now that cool front on Friday night into Saturday morning could bring us some much needed rain. Right now, we've got it at a 30% chance for some thunderstorms in the area, not just run-of-the-mill showers. That system could be a little bit more potent, could produce some thunderstorms. But for now, we'll call it a 30% chance. The reason why the chance is low is because timing is still a little bit hazy. We want to get closer to the weekend to give you a good idea of when and where we can expect rain at some point. Likely late Thursday, likely late Friday and early Saturday. Yeah, so not too busy at the first part of the week, but by the end we could see some rain.
I like those afternoons. Very pretty.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice week.
Thank you, Sarah.
Well, you say with the rain, it can actually get rid of some of the pollen.
Oh, that's the way to get rid of pollen because it's hanging out in the air right now. If you get some rain, it washes it out.
That would be great.
That would be wonderful.
Rooting for the pollen,
yes.
or for the rain, to get rid of the pollen. No more pollen. Done with the pollen.
I know what you meant.
6:13, 40 degrees out.
And it's a great day to be a Houston Texans fan. The Texans came out on top and are advancing to the next round of the playoffs. You won't want to miss the highlights of this thrilling game.
And a very different story for the San Antonio Spurs. Silver and black just could not get it done. Fun fact, if the playoffs started today, they would not make it. Different story from yesterday.
That's not fun.
Not fun. It's a fact, though.
Yeah.
So we're going to have the lowlights after the break. And some highlights.
Yeah, that's true.
I wrote this real pessimistic.
I know. Pick 3, we have 713, Fireball 8, Daily 4, 1366, Fireball 9.
And the catch 5 is 5, 24, 26, 32, 34. Powerball 1, 11, 21, 25, 54. Powerball is 7. Power play is 2. Good luck. We'll be right back.
And the San Antonio Spurs hoping to get their first win of 2020 last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. Things didn't go quite as planned for the Silver and Black.
But point of optimism, Lonnie Walker got his first career start. DeJounte Murray sat for personal reasons. So let's take a look at the highlights. So the Spurs, they were actually up 12, but only led by 2 after 1. Trailed by 5 at halftime. Third quarter, Spurs were clawing back. Here it is, the end of the third quarter. And wide open 3. That's Ersan Ilyasova, and he knocks it in. That would take a commanding lead. Whew. Bucks would lead 103-91 in the fourth quarter. Silver and Black were down, but they were still fighting. Marco Bellinelli just letting a defender fly by. Sinks a corner 3. Pop would sit DeMar and LaMarcus with 4 minutes to go, and the Spurs could not get it done. They fall to the Bucks 127-118.
It's a hell of a team. And, Mike and the coaches do a great job. Their record is there for a reason. And it just, too many mistakes, too many fouls. The Lopez brothers killed us on the block. And we just ended up fouling too much. But the competitiveness was there. I think we can play better on Monday night, and we'll give them a run, and we'll try to win a basketball game.
It sounded like I had a pause, and that is because I was going to say, and guess who they get again? Steph, take it away.
Yay, the Bucks. So the Spurs get a chance at redemption very soon. They're playing the Bucks again tomorrow night, this time at home. Tip-off from the AT&T Center set for 7:30 p.m.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
And the NFL postseason kicking off yesterday afternoon with the Houston Texans hosting the Buffalo Bills.
And it was one of 2 very exciting games, a thriller overtime win for the Texans, but didn't start very optimistic. So let's take a look at the highlights. Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson sacked 4 times in the first half. Whew. But there he is, Mr. Texas himself, not actually from Texas, but everyone loves him, J.J. Watt, taking him down, and there he is, Deshaun Watson rolling out of the pocket, throwing a beautiful ball. Whew, running back just finds his way into the end zone. 47-yard attempt for the Bills to tie it. Boom. Right through the uprights. A little to the right. Either way. Headed to overtime at 19 apiece, and this was the play of the game. Deshaun evades 2 defenders, gets it to the hands, and boom, all the way down to the 10-yard line. Whew, and there it is. 28-yard field goal by Fairburn. The Texans come back from 16-0 to win 22-19.
when I was in college, Dabo used to always tell us, regardless if we're up or if we're down, don't never look at the scoreboard. Keep fighting, keep pushing forward, and every drive, you're gonna, at the end of the day, you're gonna look up at the scoreboard and you're gonna be where you want to be at. So, and that's what we did, and we kept fighting. The game is never over, and anything can happen, especially in the NFL.
And the Texans now move to the NFL divisional round. They'll be facing off against Sarah's Kansas City Chiefs. That game is set for next Sunday at 2:05 p.m.
So many thoughts. First off, on both games.
Okay.
First off, this is going to be, I think, the first time in I want to say 10 years that the Patriots also lost to the Titans. Shout out Derrick Henry. First time in 10 years the Patriots are not going to be in the AFC Championship. And this is going to be the first time, and I want to say 10, maybe 20 years where it's not Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, or Peyton Manning, or Joe Flacco as a quarterback of the AFC team. So new blood, so it could be Deshaun Watson.
That'll be interesting.
Could be Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. Could be Patrick Mahomes. He had his chance last year, so this is a little bit of redemption.
Yeah, I was going to say he might be back for redemption. Yeah, the game was interesting because, I wasn't in front of the TV.
Mm-hmm.
My husband was. I promised my little girl to take her to the park. We came back and he was like, oh, it's looking bad. And then things changed.
Deshaun Watson, team on his back. J.J. Watt got the sack, and that turned the game around. He came back from a torn pec. So everything that needed to happen happened in the second half, and they are on to Kansas City.
Yeah, what a great win. Congrats.
Great win. All right, 6:22, 40 degrees out.
And after police in Arizona learned that a little girl was missing out on the fun of a recent snowfall, they decided to do something about it. After the break, how they were able to bring the snow to her.
All right, it is time for some birthdays. First up, we have Jen, 38. Happy birthday, Jen.
Happy birthday, Jen. And we have Shelby. Oh, how cute. 4 years old. Happy birthday. Love that outfit. This must have been in the afternoon, not in the morning, when the temperatures were a little warmer. Now keep posting your birthday pictures on ksat.com/birthdays. Remember to include a name and an age. We show them every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday right here on GMSA. We'll be right back.
Good morning and welcome back. 6:26 this Sunday morning. Police in Arizona stepping up in a big way this week, bringing some winter cheer to a sick toddler.
When they learned that a family could not make it out to see a recent snowfall because of the little girl's condition, they decided to bring the snowfall to her. So 2-year-old Quinn Walker was born with the left side of her heart missing. At just 6 days old, she had her first open heart surgery. Now, most of the time, Quinn is on oxygen, and her doctors said a trip to the high country to see the recent snowfall would be too much for her.
So Quinn's mom posted her disappointment on Facebook, and this is where the story takes a turn. The local police department noticed and decided to bring 5 tons of snow right to Quinn.
Priceless. It's just overwhelming. So it's just to see her come out and have a smile and play in the snow and play with her brothers.
Just look at her. She looks happy. Quinn is scheduled to have her 3rd heart surgery in April and will likely need a heart transplant soon. But look, she's smiling. She's enjoying the moment. That's so cool that they stepped up. Yes.
Time now, 6:27, 40 degrees out.
And a lot more still ahead on GMSA. Good news for Barbacoa and Big Red fans. This year's festival expanding to 2 days. Why organizers say tickets, though, will probably cost you a little bit more.
2020, the year of Barbacoa.
and Big Red.
And Big Red. January in South Texas means something we all dread. You can probably hear Stephanie and I right now talking. A lot of
That's me.
It is mountain cedar season. Katie Blake breaks down a cedar fever and tells us what we can do to fight it.
And after withdrawing from the race for the President of the United States, former San Antonio Mayor Julian Castro says he doesn't regret a thing. He sits down with our Courtney Friedman to discuss his campaign and what's next.
Good morning and happy Sunday. It is January 5th, 40 degrees out there.
Yes, very cold right now.
Right now.
But yeah, I mean, Sarah said it's going to warm up a little bit and be pretty like yesterday.
I don't remember it being this warm last year. Sarah, am I going crazy here?
Yeah, you're going crazy.
Yes, you are. No.
For sure. Because always in January, we have temperatures that are pretty close to near 70 degrees on some days. I don't know why that says this evening. I mean, today we're going to have temperatures climbing up to about 70 degrees for a high temperature. And so it's going to be a beautiful day. The pollen count, though, will definitely get in the way. Yesterday, it was past 20,000. And today it could potentially, if not be at the same, be even a little bit higher. So I'll be back to talk about, this evening's forecast, as well as what you can expect during the afternoon. Stephanie, Max.
Thank you, Sarah.
Well, there are many questions a group of former convicts and families of current convicts they have for Sheriff Javier Salazar. Now, one of those questions they have, could the multiple deaths of inmates during 2019, could it have been prevented by BCSO?
Now, the group is now calling for an internal investigation. Our Alicia Beretta is live outside the Bexar County Jail with more. Alicia.
Good morning. Well, some of those allegations include a broken system, a shortage of staff, and even mistreatment of inmates. And they say that this has, in one way or another, played a role in the death of these inmates. And now they're wanting that investigation to take place. According to records from Bexar County Sheriff's Office, there were 10 deaths of inmates in their facility in 2019. And records show that some deaths were linked to medical complications, others by suicide, and one by homicide. But the group protesting for the rights of inmates say it's simply one too many. This group is being led by the civil rights organization All of Us or None. Stephen Huerta is the San Antonio chapter executive director, and he's also an ex-convict. He says he and the families have a lot of questions surrounding the death of inmates, and they want help to prevent another death inside these walls. That's why they're asking for transparency and for an investigation to take place that focuses specifically on the policies as well as the administration and staff running the detention center.
While they were here, there were so many things that could have been done, I believe, to prevent that loss of life. Where along the line did something go wrong? Why was someone not given the proper attention? Was there not medical attention provided?
While they want those questions answered by Sheriff Salazar, this is the only comment the agency made yesterday when the group met at the steps of the jail. It reads, "This group has the right to peacefully assemble, and we will ensure they are offered the opportunity." And of course, this was not the response that the group was hoping for. They were able to stand out here and protest. They were out here for about an hour or two yesterday. And the group says that even though this isn't the answer that they wanted, they're going to keep pushing and raising their voices until they're able to talk to Sheriff Javier Salazar or someone from the agency. Reporting Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Alicia. We are still waiting to learn the name of the man accused of kicking in an apartment door and stealing several things inside. Police arrested the burglary suspect yesterday afternoon. They tell us the crimes happened at apartments at the intersection of Avenue B and 12th Street in the downtown area. Now, police found the suspect later on at the Museum Reach section of the Riverwalk. Police say he was combative and he spat at the officers. The suspect is expected to face charges of burglary and resisting arrest.
Proud. That's the word San Antonio native Julian Castro used to describe his experience just 2 days after suspending his presidential bid.
And the former San Antonio mayor and federal housing and urban development secretary sat down with our Courtney Friedman to go over his year-long campaign, his decision to end it, and what comes next.
Non-stop traveling, campaigning, and voicing opinions about his ideal America. Julian Castro now back home in San Antonio.
It's been a fantastic experience. Obviously, I wish that the outcome were different, but we worked hard and articulated a vision for the future of our country that I believe a lot of people responded to.
It's been 2 days since he dropped out of the race.
It became clear that it wasn't my time, but we did help shape the debate and move the conversation forward on a number of issues. I think that all in all, it was worth it.
In the debates, Castro became known for his focus on some controversial topics.
Whether on immigration or housing or addressing police reform or a number of other issues that I think need to be addressed.
Getting any words in during the debates was a feat in itself.
You have a lot of talented people that are running for president this year, more than any other year, I think, for Democrats. It's a very fractured race, and who knows what's going to happen at this point. But what I do know is that I'll make sure to be one of those voices for change in the fall of 2020 so that we have a new president and somebody that stands up for all Americans.
So will he endorse one of those Democratic candidates still in the race?
Right now I'm focused on wrapping up my campaign, and we're going to have a process of thinking through what went right and then, what we could have done better. Eventually I'll make a decision on that.
Regardless, he says he wants to see more partisanship in the future. Do you feel hopeful for America?
I do, yeah. I'm fundamentally hopeful about our country. I saw a lot of great things out there and heard from a lot of good people. Sometimes progress doesn't happen as quickly as we'd like, but it happens. And I believe that we're going to get through this time period of division.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Well, Barbacoa and Big Red listeners and lovers, this is your year.
Yay, 2020. So the Barbacoa and Big Red Festival will expand to 2 days this year. The festival announced yesterday that it will take place on May 16th and 17th at the Green Line inside Brooks. Now, organizers say they expanded this festival due to the large turnout last year, which led to long lines and dozens of complaints.
Ticket prices are expected to increase this year, though, but organizers say they plan on keeping the festival budget friendly. That means everything will be relatively inexpensive. Now, the music lineup and other details have not yet been released, but for more information on the Barbacoa and Big Red Festival, just look under the food section on ksat.com. So what do you think, Steph? You going this year?
Well, actually, it looks interesting. I haven't been before, but it was more for scheduling conflicts, so we'll see. I don't know. I think it'd be neat to check out, but I wonder how much the prices will go up, so we'll wait.
All of the Barbacoa.
Yeah. I know you. Have you been before?
No, I wasn't able to do it last year because we were here.
Schedule conflict? Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we'll try to check it out this year.
This is our live anchoring from the Barbacoa and Big Red Festival.
Yeah, we'll
Sarah, you in?
Put our request in. Yeah.
Sarah's in. 6:38, 40 degrees out.
And preschool's about having fun for most kids, but a new study shows what they learned during these years could predict their success later on. Details on this study still ahead.
And mountain cedar season is in full swing. That means allergies are sparking up for a lot of us, especially here in studio.
Yep.
After the break, Katie Blake explains what causes a high cedar count and how to treat those allergies.
I know, yesterday my husband's like, don't go outside, in the afternoon. But it's so pretty.
I stood outside for way too long. I was like, oh, I appreciate the sun.
It was so beautiful, right?
It's gorgeous, and now I'm like dealing with the consequences.
Me too. We're going to check in with Sarah to see if we can expect another beautiful day. We'll be right back. And welcome back at 6:42. So are you like the rest of us? Are you feeling a little bit itchy? Maybe your throat is sore or your sinuses are stuffed up? Yeah? Tissue?
In a little bit.
In a little bit, yeah.
Well, no matter how you feel, many of us here are currently suffering from cedar fever. But what exactly is mountain cedar? Meteorologist Katie Blake explains.
Does this look familiar? Yeah, same here. Chances are you are one of the many South Texans that show and feel allergy symptoms, especially this time of year. What's the culprit? More than likely, it's mountain cedar. Now, the ironic thing about mountain cedar is that it doesn't come from mountain cedar trees. Rather, it comes from ash juniper trees, or if you want to be really fancy, throw a little Latin in there, Juniperus ashii trees. Either way, during the second half of the year, male ash juniper trees produce pollen, and beginning in December, this pollen can be shaken off of the trees by the wind, carried through the air, and for us, this can lead to symptoms like headache, sinus pressure, watery eyes, and overall, just a big feeling of blah. Okay. Now, a large concentration of juniper trees that produce this pollen can be found up in the hill country and central Texas. This is problematic for us because as cold fronts move through, especially in the winter, breezy and sometimes gusty north winds can kick in, and it carries all of that mountain cedar down to places like San Antonio. Worst time of the year for mountain cedar is roughly December through February, so don't forget that your KSAT weather team posts the pollen count first thing in the morning, even on the weekends. You can find it online at KSAT.com and on the KSAT weather app so that you can be prepared for whatever mountain cedar throws your way.
And what a coinky dink. I'm going to be talking about the mountain cedar forecast here in just a little bit. So
and we want to hear about it.
Yeah, and Katie was right. What she said is that the male juniper trees, they're the ones that get all that pollen up in the air, and by about February, we're done with it, because all of it's blown away or washed out of the air. So keep that in mind. There is relief in sight.
That is good to hear.
But for now, it's chilly outside. It's 31 up in Kerrville, 31 in Hondo, 32 in Uvalde. It's 40 degrees in San Antonio and 38 in New Braunfels, 44 in Gonzales, 34 in Pleasanton. So temperatures kind of all over the map, but what we do know is going to happen is we're going to see tons of sunshine. And because of that, highs should be able to hover right in the mid 70s this afternoon. Potentially the low 70s up near Bernie, Leon Springs, Stone Oak, but in the mid 70s downtown and further south and to the east, west in areas like Carrizo Springs, we could be seeing temperatures closer to 80 degrees this afternoon. So we will break it down for you here. Cool right now, and temperatures will stay in the 50s through the morning, but right around lunch will be in the upper 60s, 74 for the high, with a wind from the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And temperatures will be cooling down quickly this evening as well. Now in the weather setup, like I said, we've got a high pressure system in place, and that's what's allowed for these beautiful sunny skies, but it has kept things dry. So there is going to be a front that will move through by Tuesday morning. Notice that it's not too much colder behind this front. It's cold, but it's not too much colder. So it's just going to cool us down a little bit. Highs will go from the 70s to the 60s on Tuesday. But that front, unfortunately, is going to probably aggravate Mountain Cedar even further. Now, yesterday, the pollen count was at 20,080 pollen grains per cubic meter of air. But Monday night into Tuesday morning, that front is going to move through. And so I do think that by Tuesday, with winds from the north at 15 miles per hour, Mountain Cedar will stay elevated, unfortunately. Now, another thing that's unfortunate is that cold front will be dry. It won't be producing any rain. You can see that we've got moderate drought around Bexar County right now, with areas of severe drought up in the hill country and even extreme drought for areas around Uvalde. The entire state of Texas could use a good drink of water. And although we're not going to get any rain with the front that moves through on Tuesday morning, there is going to be a front that'll move through sometime Friday night or Saturday morning, and that has the potential to produce some thunderstorms for us. So my hope is that this front on Friday into Saturday will give us that good drink of water that we need. A little bit too far out to give you exact timing on when we could expect that rain. Areas that could expect the rain and amounts. So we'll have to wait a little bit further, probably until we're in the middle of the week. For now, though, just enjoy this beautiful sunny weather. Before it gets too warm, that first front is going to help keep temperatures down into the 60s Tuesday and Wednesday.
We will enjoy it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Good plan, Stephanie.
Thanks, Sarah. 647, 40 degrees out.
And could your preschoolers' math skills predict their success? Still ahead, how some new research seems to point that way.
Well, look at this little perfect little black head with a little white chin there. She is, oh, sweet as can be. You're going to meet this little one coming up on Good Morning San Antonio. Well, we're just a couple of days into the new year, and why not talk about puppies? Nicole's here from the San Antonio Humane Society, and this little girl.
This is Princess. She's about 5 months old, a Chihuahua mix. She's so sweet, seems very happy to be here today, and she has kind of a cute little characteristic. She's only got one eye. She's a little pirate dog.
How did she lose the eye?
You know, I'm not too sure. Okay. Yeah, that's how she came to us recently. She was in a house that just had too many dogs, and they brought some of them to the San Antonio Humane Society to find their new homes.
Okay, well, if you'd like a new puppy for the new year, you can adopt her. What you got going on to ring in the new year?
Well, the holiday season is coming to a close, but we hope that people will still think about the pets at the San Antonio Humane Society who are still looking for their forever home. So if you are so inclined, you can look at our wish list. Our Amazon wish list is updated continuously, so if you'd like to make a donation, you can get some good ideas of items. Everything from newspaper to wet cat and dog food is on the wish list.
Yeah, so even though Christmas shopping season obviously is over with, though, but it continues with y'all, and that's the simplest way to shop is Amazon
Absolutely.
wish list, a couple of clicks, and it goes right to them exactly what they need.
Exactly.
So if you'd like more information about that, what they need, or this little one, as you said, the little pirate, you can head on over to the San Antonio Humane Society at 4804 Fredericksburg Road, 226-7461. Thank you, dear.
Thank you so much.
Well, many parents send their young children to preschool, make friends, work on the social skills, prepare them for kindergarten.
That's right, but a new study shows what they learn about numbers might also have an impact on their future academic achievement. Our Erica Hernandez explains.
Singing, coloring, and playing, preschool is about having fun for most kids, but a new study shows that what they learn during these years could predict their success later on. Researchers gave 141 preschool-aged children 12 different tasks to complete, twice a year, and followed their progress for 2 years of preschool and through first grade. Results showed children who mastered certain math lessons in preschool showed better math achievement in first grade. The most important skill that predicted later math success was something called cardinal reasoning. That's knowing that the number of items you count is the total number in a set. For instance, knowing that 4 means 4 things. Researchers say it's easy to practice these math skills with your preschooler. To help with cardinal reasoning, try giving them 3 crackers and count as you point to each. Repeat the last number 3 to clarify that it is the total number in the set. For helping them understand relative quantity, give them 2 crackers and yourself 1. Say, look, you have 2 crackers and I have 1. Who has more? Repeat this exercise with different numbers. Previous studies have shown that proficient math skills at the end of high school are a strong indicator of an individual's economic and occupational success. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
And you actually had your daughter go to preschool. You said it helped.
Yeah, it really did help. I mean, so what was tough as a parent was the drop-off because, separation anxiety from both, mom and daughter. But, she really learned a lot. Still using those skills today. Now she's in kindergarten, and I feel like she's, doing really well in school, and I think preschool helped.
Good. How's her math?
Pretty good. Yeah, she's. They're already starting to add on the board.
Nice.
Already, and subtract. Of course, they call it takeaway, and so it's good to see her do that.
Very cool. All right. Time now at 6:54. 40 degrees out.
Take a look at some birthdays this weekend. We have Lucian, 9 years old. Happy birthday.
And we have Melody and Adam. Aw, so cute. 3 and 1. Happy birthday, guys. Remember to keep posting those birthday pictures to ksat.com/birthdays. Remember to include a name and an age. We show them every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday right here on Good Morning San Antonio.
Hey, good morning. Coming up on GMA, thousands of mourners hitting the streets in Iran, grieving that top general killed in the American drone strike. The new threats from President Trump this morning, plus the wildfire crisis down in Australia. They're calling in the military this morning, but could there be a respite on the horizon here? And finally, the Patriots pummeled, taken down by the Tennessee Titans, pushed from the playoffs. The big question, has Tom Brady played his final game with the Pats? It's all coming up on GMA. We'll see you very soon.
Well, temperatures have fallen into the 30s. Right now it's 39 in San Antonio, but it's below freezing up in the hill country. Let's take a look at the forecast right now. We're looking at temperatures climbing up to 74 degrees for the afternoon high. Southwest winds at 5 to 10, so although it's cold now, it'll be comfortable in the afternoon. A few morning clouds tomorrow, and then a first front moves through, and that's just going to really cool things down for us, not bringing any rain. But the second front at the end of the week does have the potential to bring us some thunderstorms. That's good news.
Yeah, it is good news. We need the rain. Thank you so much, Sarah.
All right, I'm just going to throw it out here. Good Morning America said the Patriots. How about them Texans? 16 points down. Yeah. They came back. Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt.
Give us some love in Texas.
Right?
Yeah.
Come on. Anyway, we are going to take an hour-long break for Good Morning America, but when we come back, we still have so much to tell you about local breaking news, and also we're going to give you a preview of what you can expect on the week ahead.
Also, we're going to catch up with our Alicia Beretta. She's going to be at Mission Concepción, where they're having a mass, and they're going to be undergoing some renovations pretty soon. She'll tell us about it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, in Australia, they're dealing with those bushfires. But coming up at 8, I'll be able to take a look at that actually from space, and you can see just how widespread those fires are.
All right, we look forward to that, Sarah.
And of course, we're going to have Texans and Spurs highlights, everything you need to know that happened in the world of sports yesterday and coming up this week. And today, it's Wild Card Weekend.
All right, happy Sunday. We'll be back.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Right now on GMSA, after suspending his presidential campaign, we hear from Julian Castro about his time on the campaign trail and what the San Antonio native says he's focusing on now.
And it's a great day to be a Texans fan. We're going to have a full recap of the wild card games from yesterday.
And also taking a live look outside. A beautiful start to your Sunday morning. The sun is shining, but it is less than 40 degrees out there right now. 38 degrees to start your Sunday morning. When we are going to see that warm up, Sarah Spivey joins us in just a few moments. Good morning. I'm Max Massey.
And I'm Stephanie Serna. Thanks for joining us. It's Sunday, January 5th, and yes, 38 degrees for now. It was actually 40 about an hour
That's why it was
ago.
so jarring. I was like, it's a gorgeous sight out there, but then the temperature.
But it is cold for now, so definitely pack that coat.
Yeah, we had a quick drop in temperatures, but as you can see, the sun is out, and so we will be able to warm up really nicely today and pretty quickly. Take a look at this morning's sunrise. Beautiful this morning. Totally clear skies out there, just absolutely gorgeous. And whoop, there's the sun. Gonna warm us up. We'll be near 75 this afternoon, but for now it is chilly. It's 38 at San Antonio International Airport, 33 in Helotes, 32 freezing in Rio Medina. It's 29 in Kerrville. It's 40 out toward Bulverde, 40 in New Braunfels, 37 in Floresville, and 33 down in Pleasanton. But notice how quickly we warm up. We'll already be in the upper 50s by 10 o'clock, upper 60s around lunchtime, and then in the afternoon, a high temperature near 75 degrees. So cold, jacket weather this morning, comfortable in the afternoon, and then it'll get chilly again in the evening hours. Southwest winds today at 5 to 10 miles per hour. I'll be back to talk about a double dose of cold fronts in our forecast over the next 7 days and the potential for rain. Finally, I'll have that forecast in just a few. Max?
Thank you, Sarah. We actually have breaking news into the newsroom right now. This is a live look out at Pennsylvania, a scene of a multi-vehicle crash. Right now, officials on the scene telling us that at least 5 people dead, 50 more injured. Now, the crash involves a semi-truck, tour bus, tractor trailers, and passenger vehicles. Officials on the scene still investigating what exactly led to this wreck. We do know several of the people injured right now are under 18 years old. We're going to stay on this, and we are going to keep you updated as more information becomes available. All right, well, back here at home, top stories we're following this morning. Former San Antonio Mayor Julian Castro says that he is proud of his experience as a 2020 presidential candidate. Just 2 days after suspending his presidential bid, our Courtney Friedman sat down with the former San Antonio mayor and federal housing and urban development secretary to go over his long-year campaign and his plan for what's next.
It became clear that it wasn't my time, but we did help shape the debate and move the conversation forward on a number of issues. I think that all in all, it was worth it.
Julian Castro says right now he is focused on thinking through what went right and what could have gone better. We have much more from that interview with Julian Castro right now on KSAT.com. And it would be a first of its kind in the state of Texas, a domestic violence drug court in Bexar County, and a local judge has been pushing for it since last year.
Now, first-time offenders with drugs or alcohol mentioned in their arrest could be recommended into the court-supervised drug treatment. Now, it would be structured a lot like other specialty drug courts already in place. We first told you about the proposed program last summer, but they still need funding.
Tiffany Huertas has the details of this new proposal.
Over 10,000 domestic violence cases were on Judge Rosie Speedling Gonzalez's docket alone last year. That's why she's hoping the domestic violence drug court program will move forward.
All of these specialty courts in the county and across the state and across the country have to every year go looking for monies to keep the courts up and running.
Initially, she aimed for $1 million for the 2-year pilot program. But she says after meeting with several people in the community and shaving down the proposal, she is now aiming for a total of $300,000. Speedling Gonzalez says the cut in funds will only limit the number of participants in the program.
Our biggest obstacle has been finding funding for violent offenders, because in our court, everyone that comes to the door is categorized as a violent offender because it's a domestic violence court. And so the monies for violent offenders are very limited.
The drug court would offer a new avenue to deal with some of these cases.
You can either go the traditional way, which could include time, the mandatory sanctions sanction here would be 1 year at the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Or if you want to work with us, we can work on getting you released. Let's get you into treatment. Let's get you with your trauma therapist. Let's get you set up for services.
Speedling Gonzalez says most of the defendants in domestic violence cases were under the influence of drugs or alcohol. That's why she believes this program would be beneficial.
If we look at the individual and we look at their individual history, we're going to find that many of the people that are coming through this court are themselves have been victims at some point in their lives. They've been traumatized. The substance came into their life, the substance abuse, as a way of coping and self-medicating.
The $300,000 would pay for several things, including drug treatment, law enforcement, probation, and trauma-informed counseling. She wants to start the program with 10 participants. Judge Speedling Gonzalez says she is also looking for defendants with children.
One of those ways that we can look at it is how can we help the parent of this child or the spouse of the abused change their behavior so it doesn't continue to bleed over to victimize the victim over and over again and to reinforce the cycle of abuse in children.
She says they will be looking at grant applications once they open in April. I'm Tiffany Huertas. To see more stories like this, check out KSAT News at 9, Monday through Friday.
And so far, Bexar County has provided $100,000. Judge Rosie Speedling Gonzalez says even if they don't reach their $300,000 goal, the court will start the program just with fewer participants. Now, tentative court lunch is scheduled for late February to early March.
Well, Mission Concepción is closing their doors temporarily. The Stone Church will undergo renovations, and today is their last day open for Mass.
Our Alicia Beretta is live on the city's south side with more on this temporary closure.
Good morning. For those that want to head over here, maybe haven't even been to Mission Concepción in their lifetime, well, today is a good day. The Mass times are 10 a.m. and at noon, and after that noon Mass, it's a mariachi Mass. The doors for the sanctuary will be closed for the next several months. And as we know, Mission Concepción is a World Heritage Site, part of the National Parks and Service, and a Catholic church, and it's been here in San Antonio since 1731. Even so, it's considered the best preserved colonial structure in the nation. So why exactly are they closing? Well, some restoration work will be done. The dome inside the sanctuary is what's going to get renovated. According to the Mission Concepción's website, the church is expected to be fully shut down for the next several months, perhaps until April, and this will also affect weddings. I did call the number on the website, and they say weddings will happen in this year, but it won't be until later in 2020. And then the last time that we know that this Mission Concepción was shut down was due to that partial government shutdown in December of 2018. But I want to show you here. This is a layout because kind of from where we're standing, it's a little hard to see exactly where that dome is, but we're standing more or less right about here, and the dome that's going to be renovated will be this area back here. So stick with us. At 8:30, we'll actually be going inside. I just spoke to Deacon Ray Jimenez, and he's going to be giving us a closer look inside. Again, the Mass times are 10 a.m. That's a bilingual Mass, and then the noon Mass is a mariachi Mass. So it's obviously a beautiful sight to see. Back to you.
Thank you, Alicia. Well, it is time to talk Spurs. It has not been an ideal 2020 so far for the Silver and Black, and last night didn't really help out. Just a few key points about last night's loss. San Antonio did lead by 12 points early on in the game, but they trailed at halftime. LaMarcus Aldridge actually having all of his 16 points in the first half. DeMar DeRozan, though, filling up on the offensive end, 26 points, but still, that was not enough to bring home a win. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the reigning MVP, dominated. The Bucks showed up. The final score, 127-118, Bucks win. But don't worry, there is a chance to have redemption. The Silver and Black play the Bucks again tomorrow, but this time it is here at home, here at the AT&T Center in the Alamo City. Tip-off is set for 7:30.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance. And so yesterday in the sports block, we talked about if the playoffs ended today, yesterday the Spurs would have been in it.
Right.
But they lost. So now they're the 9th seed on the outside looking in.
Right.
So the Blazers took their seat, but if they win tomorrow, the Blazers lose, switch. Plus, it's a long season.
I would like to see that.
There's 82 games.
Yeah, and they'll be at home. So
better chances.
Much better. Go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. Just about 8:10, 38 degrees out.
And still ahead on GMSA, we have a recap and preview of the wild card games.
Woo! Sean Watson, what a guy. And could your preschoolers' math skills predict their success? That story next.
And taking a look outside with TransGuide there this morning, looking at 35 in New Braunfels, looking good there. Not too many people on the road. And road conditions looking all right this morning. Still, as always, be careful.
And before we head to break, we are going to take one last live look out at the Alamo City. It is a gorgeous start to your Sunday morning. I don't see any clouds in the sky, but those temperatures are low right now. Expecting to go up. We're going to hear from our own Sarah Spivey in just a few minutes.
And welcome back. It is 8:14. So many parents send their young children to preschool to help with social skills and prepare them for kindergarten.
Make new friends. But a new study shows that what they learn about numbers might also have a huge impact on the future of their academic achievements.
Our Erica Hernandez explains.
Singing, coloring, and playing. Preschool is about having fun for most kids, but a new study shows that what they learn during these years could predict their success later on. Researchers gave 141 preschool-aged children 12 different tasks to complete, twice a year, and followed their progress for 2 years of preschool and through first grade. Results showed children who mastered certain math lessons in preschool showed better math achievement in first grade. The most important skill that predicted later math success was something called cardinal reasoning. That's knowing that the number of items you count is the total number in a set. For instance, knowing that 4 means 4 things. Researchers say it's easy to practice these math skills with your preschooler. To help with cardinal reasoning, try giving them 3 crackers and count as you point to each. Repeat the last number 3 to clarify that it is the total number in the set. For helping them understand relative quantity, give them 2 crackers and yourself 1. Say, look, you have 2 crackers and I have 1. Who has more? Repeat this exercise with different numbers. Previous studies have shown that proficient math skills at the end of high school are a strong indicator of an individual's economic and occupational success. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it does help.
Absolutely.
From personal experience with my little one. She's now in kinder.
How's her counting skills? Probably awesome at this point.
Pretty good.
Did she ever do the thing where she just starts counting and doesn't stop?
You know what was cute was she did that when she was smaller.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I mean, I remember going into a store and she just like went off and started counting, and I was like, oh my gosh. So
that was
cool. A thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is totally a thing. That was one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid. It was just, Mom, listen how fast I can count.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
It's like a challenge. Yeah.
It is a challenge. Well, we're going to transition now and talk about weather, but not necessarily the weather here. We will eventually talk about the weather here, but I do want to show you a satellite picture of Australia. As a lot of you know, there are historic bushfires that are going on right now in Australia. Some of the most devastating fires that they've seen, and you can actually see the fires from space. This is just to the south and west of Sydney, Australia. Notice the plumes of smoke. You can tell that they're a slightly different color from the clouds. These are clouds right up here. Those clouds are white, and this is kind of a grayish, brownish color from the fires, and you can see all the way through out to the ocean. The smoke is really just blanketing the coast of Australia there. And so as meteorologists, we often use satellite imagery to predict weather, but this also helps predict where fires are in more rural places. But unfortunately, as we all have seen from the images, a lot of these places are occupied by people. So transitioning back to our weather, we are looking at a very beautiful day ahead. I mean, gorgeous sunrise here with temperatures still pretty cold. It's 38 degrees outside right now. Dew points are in the low 30s as well, so it's dry. We've got a northwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. And everywhere you look, it's a chilly start to the day. It's 31 up in Kerrville, but you can see that some spots are already starting to warm up with the sunshine, or at least showing higher temperature. Canyon Lake already in the 50s. Here in San Antonio, we'll be able to climb into the 50s pretty quickly. By 10 o'clock, we'll be in the 50s. Again, it is a chilly morning, though, for most of us, so don't be caught without that jacket today and tonight, because it'll get cold after we see a beautiful day. Warming up 68 around lunch hour, 74 for the high temperature in San Antonio. It's going to be sunny. Those winds, which are from the north right now, will switch around to the southwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And so as we take a look at our weather setup across the nation, you'll notice that it's very quiet right around this ridge of high pressure. Now, high means dry, and we are going to see this kind of slide over Texas over the next couple of days. So we can kiss our rain chances goodbye for the next few days, because this really does dry things out. There is a front to our north. Notice that temperatures are not much colder behind it. Temperatures in the 20s and in the 30s, while we're in the 40s generally across the state of Texas. And because of that ridge of high pressure, we're just not going to be seeing any rain from that front. We will see a drop in temperatures by about 10 degrees. Tomorrow we'll be in the 70s, but Tuesday, after that front moves through, our high temperatures will fall into the 60s both Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, there is another front in our forecast on Friday, maybe in the evening or in the morning. The timing is still a little bit iffy, whether it's Friday evening or Saturday morning, but it does look like that front will have a better chance for rain. For now, the chance is about 30% for thunderstorms, but that just may go up as we get closer to Friday and Saturday. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. But what you do need to know is for the work week, it should be quiet. Every day you're going to leave for work needing a jacket, but in the afternoon you just won't need them. And that's the weather pattern we're in, and it's a very common weather pattern in San Antonio this time of year.
It's a funny one for our news crews, because
it is.
For us, for the morning people, we come in all bundled up and then we lose the layers later in the day. And for our night crew, who they come in the beautiful afternoon and they have to make sure to remember their jacket, because it definitely gets cold.
That is true. That is true. And it's interesting because during the 5 p.m. newscast, you'll see something that was recorded in the morning, and the reporters are bundled
right.
up, you know. Yeah.
And it's nice outside. Yeah.
Well, I'm just looking for the rain to wash the pollen away.
Yes.
Yesterday, I went outside. Terrible decision. Allergies are flaring up today.
Yeah.
But I learned my lesson. You know what I'm going to do today?
Watch football.
Stay inside and watch football all day. Stay into the air conditioning.
How did we know?
We have the
So
Eagles
lucky,
and the Seahawks. We have the Saints and the Vikings. We're going to have a full preview coming up. It is 8:20, 38 degrees out. But like Sarah says, it's getting warmer.
And also we have a recap of the Texans versus Bills game and what yesterday's win means for the Texans.
Good morning and welcome back. 8:24 this Sunday morning. You should be seeing Texans highlights right now, but I'll tell you what happened. If you're a Texans fan, you might still be smiling. Here we go. We are back. An improbable comeback overtime win. The Houston Texans managed to beat the Buffalo Bills yesterday in the first game of the wild card round. And what a wild card weekend it has been so far. Texans down 16 points. We are skipping right ahead to the overtime highlights. Deshaun Watson shedding 2 would-be sacks, getting the ball to the running back, going all the way down the field, and Fairburn knocks in the overtime field goal. Texans win huge, 22-19. Thanks to that man, the miraculous Deshaun Watson. J.J. Watt with a game-changing sack. The Texans win big. They move on to the next round of the playoffs. So next up, the Texans take on the Kansas City Chiefs. That game is set for next Sunday at 2:05. And time to go to the late game of a wild card Saturday. So many storylines that came along with it. The Patriots hosting the Tennessee Titans. The Titans relying on running back Derrick Henry to just run over the Patriots. Then, thanks to a late game interception, a quick pick six by former Patriot Logan Ryan, the Titans win. Bill Belichick losing to his former player and his former coaching assistant Mike Vrabel. And the questions have to be asked, was this the last game for Tom Brady, and was it the last game for Tom Brady as a Patriot? He is an unrestricted free agent, so only time will tell. So the wild card round continues today. First up, the New Orleans Saints and the Minnesota Vikings. Last time they played in the playoffs did not go well for the Saints. It was a miraculous catch and touchdown to end the Saints season. So let's see if the Saints can get redemption today. They are kicking off Sunday football today with their game at noon. Following that game, the NFC East team that did make the playoffs, the Eagles, taking on the Seahawks in Philadelphia. That game is set for 3:40 this afternoon.
The Eagles, not the Cowboys. Not this
Eagles, not this year.
Not this year.
Not this year. Still a lot of questions remain with Cowboys. Who will be the coach next season?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we're just kind of waiting.
Just kind of waiting. Stay with KSAT online and on air. We will have those answers throughout the week.
That's right.
826, 38 degrees out.
And 2019 was a heck of a year for Elon Musk. And if you own Tesla stock, you're probably a happy camper. Tesla met its sales quota for 2019 and had a 15% increase in sales during its fourth quarter from the third quarter. We're going to tell you how many car sales it had. That's next.
Plus, we are going to take a look into next week where a new jury is set to be chosen in the Harvey Weinstein trial. All the details still ahead.
And celebrities Keith Urban, Nicole Kidman, and Pink donating money in an effort to help with the Australian fires. Just how much they donated, that's next.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm Max Massey.
And I'm Stephanie Serna. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining us at this 38 degrees. Nice and cold outside.
Chilly,
Yeah.
cold,
For now.
brisk for now. But Sarah, you're saying it is going to be another gorgeous day out there.
Oh, absolutely. We just got to get through the next few minutes or so with this temperature at 38 degrees because look how quickly we're going to warm up. Already in the 50s by 10, 60s by noon, and in the afternoon we should be able to see a high temperature close to 75 degrees. A beautiful day in my book, but I know that a lot of us are suffering from a mountain cedar allergy right now. So if you stick around, I'll have a look at your forecast and how that may impact the mountain cedar and pollen count over the next few days. We've yet to get the pollen count in this morning, but I'll be sure to report that when we do. Max, Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. In your morning headlines, President Donald Trump says that the United States has targeted 52 Iranian sites for attack if Iran attacks any Americans or American assets first. Now, the message came in a string of tweets after the White House formally notified Congress of that United States operation that killed Iranian military commander General Soleimani. Now, the administration has warned members of Congress Iran is expected to retaliate against the United States within the next few weeks.
And about 2,800 troops were deployed to the Middle East from Fort Bragg in North Carolina this morning. Officials say they'll first head to Kuwait, where military leaders will then decide where they're needed. Earlier this week, 750 troops were deployed following a disturbance at the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. Now, so far, nearly 3,500 U.S. service members have been sent to the Middle East this week.
And early this morning, Somalia's al-Shabaab extremist group attacked a military base used by the United States and Kenya troops in coastal Kenya. Now, it is the first known attack by al-Shabaab against United States forces. U.S. aircraft and vehicles were destroyed in the attack, but it's unclear how many American troops are stationed at the base. Right now, no reported American deaths. Kenyan military says at least 4 of the attackers were killed.
And only 1 week into the new year, and a lot has happened leading up to the 2020 presidential race.
Former San Antonio mayor and federal housing and urban development secretary Julian Castro ending his 2020 campaign the day after New Year's. And other candidates are 1 day closer to the election.
ABC News political director Rick Klein reports on the highlights.
I'm ABC's Rick Klein with the latest in politics this week. It wasn't a happy new year for all the presidential candidates.
So today it's with a heavy heart and with profound gratitude that I will suspend my campaign for president.
Former HUD Secretary Julian Castro became the latest to exit the race before voting even starts. Author and entrepreneur Marianne Williamson has laid off her entire campaign staff, with the now ex-spokesperson saying her campaign is, quote, no longer viable. Cash flow isn't a problem for some better polling campaigns. Senator Bernie Sanders set his own new record among the Democrats running, bringing in more than $34 million in the last 3 months of 2019.
And tells me why we're going to win the nomination and why we're going to defeat Donald Trump.
On New Year's Day, Pete Buttigieg handed over the mayor's office to a successor in South Bend, Indiana. But he was a surprise second place in the money race last quarter, raising close to $25 million.
It shows that we're going to have the resources we need to compete.
His haul beat out Joe Biden, who had his best fundraising quarter yet, and Senator Elizabeth Warren, though she quickly turned that into a campaign talking point.
I didn't spend one single minute selling access to my time to millionaires and billionaires.
A sign of fights to come, Sanders told the Washington Post this week that former Vice President Joe Biden brings with him too much, quote, baggage and a record too, quote, weak to defeat President Trump. That brought this response from Biden.
Good luck, Bernie.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, good to see you. Lots of luck in your senior year, Bernie.
With just 1 month to go before the Iowa caucuses, uncertainties abound. President Trump's order to kill an Iranian leader has scrambled foreign policy, and we still don't know when or even if an impeachment trial will take place in the Senate. Rick Klein, ABC News, Washington.
And a few celebrities now taking action to help fight the fires in Australia. Country singer Keith Urban, pop singer Pink, and actress Nicole Kidman pledged they are donating $500,000 to help Australia and the fires that are so strong. They're now turning the sky orange in parts of the country. Now, a total of 150 fires are burning, with 64 uncontained. About 2,300 firefighters are fighting those flames.
And Tesla Motors says it has met its ambitious annual sales for the year of 2019 after many analysts believe that the automaker was in danger of missing that mark. The company said it has sold more than 367,000 cars last year. Now, Elon Musk's 2019 sales forecast was between 360 and 400,000 vehicles, but its fourth quarter vehicle sales set a quarterly sales record, rising 15% from the previous quarter. Now, the news pushed Tesla stocks to a record high this past Friday. And taking a look at the week ahead, President Donald Trump headed to Toledo for a rally on Thursday evening. Now, the president has visited Ohio frequently, both as a candidate and as a president, winning the state by 8 percentage points back in 2016. So this will be his first visit to Ohio since being impeached by the House back in December.
And the former CEO of Nissan, Carlos Ghosn, is expected to hold his first media conference on Thursday. It is anticipated he'll discuss the reasons for his escape to Lebanon. Now, Ghosn became an international fugitive after skipping bail to avoid a trial in Japan, where he is facing charges of financial misconduct. He was released from jail after posting bail totaling $14 million.
And jury selection begins Monday in Harvey Weinstein's trial in New York. The former movie mogul is facing first and third degree rape charges brought on by two separate women. This is the first criminal case against Weinstein, and he could face up to life in prison if he is convicted on some of the most serious charges.
And 175,000 people from more than 160 countries will make their way to Las Vegas for the Consumer Electronics Show. Now, more than 4,500 exhibitors will be there. Remote health monitoring devices and wearable augmented reality are expected to take the spotlight this year. Now, the Consumer Electronics Show floor opens for business on Tuesday, and it will go on until Saturday.
And coming back here at home, hundreds of parishioners will be left without a church. Thousands of visitors to San Antonio, they're going to miss their chance to visit the National Historic Landmark right here in the Alamo City.
After today's noon mass, Mission Concepción will close its doors, at least temporarily.
Our Alicia Barrera is live from Mission Concepción with more on the closure. Alicia, do we know how long this church is going to be closed for?
Yes, we do. Well, it's the first mass of the decade here at Mission Concepción, and it will be closed for a few months. They're thinking about April of this year, but it's for a good cause, because what they're wanting to do is preserve this beautiful site. As we know, Mission Concepción is a World Heritage Site, part of the National Parks and Service, and obviously a Catholic church, and it's been here in San Antonio since 1731. It's considered to be the best preserved Spanish colonial structure in the nation, and it's been renovated in the past. Some of the work that was done in the past that we know is the color. Before, it was one solid color, and now we see these yellow tones and then the red accents along the walls. But this year, some more restoration work will be done, and that's going to be to the dome inside the sanctuary. So if we pan up here, we'll show you the area of the dome in the middle of the church, where it's expected to be renovated beginning this month. But you know, hundreds of parishioners come here weekly. The masses are 10 a.m. at noon. And to tell us a little bit more about exactly what's going to be done to this sanctuary, here is Deacon Ray Jimenez. Deacon, good morning. So we're no architects, but he's going to explain to us exactly what's going to be happening here for the next few months.
Well, essentially what the architects want to do is to kind of stabilize the base of the dome, because the pressure, the weight of it over the 300 years has kind of caused some damage to it. And so what they're looking at doing is just restabilizing it. They're going to be setting up scaffoldings here in the church, which is going to obviously cause us to move our services. We're not going to be able to have our services here on Sundays, but we're moving just right up the street to Blessed Sacrament Academy, 1135 Mission Road.
And not too far, and hundreds of parishioners, of course, will be affected by that. But the expectation to open will be sometime in April?
Sometime in April. They've told us April the 8th, hopefully before Easter is the goal, and so we certainly hope that that's what happens.
Well, thank you so much for having us here this
Thank
morning.
you. Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you.
New Year.
God bless you.
The mass is this morning, 10 a.m. That's the bilingual mass, and then a noon mass will take place, and that's the beautiful mariachi mass. So if you've never been, this is actually my first time here at Mission Concepción. It's absolutely beautiful. It's breathtaking. So again, we invite you to come to the mass. Come check it out, 10 a.m. as well as noon. Reporting live, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Alicia. And that is cool that the goal is to get it open before Easter weekend. That would be beautiful mass there.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alicia. 8:40, 38 degrees out.
And the Irwin family, known to take great care of all types of animals, and they have proven us all right. The milestone the family reached, that's ahead.
Well, look at this perfect little black head with a little white chin there. She is sweet as can be. You're going to meet this little one coming up on Good Morning San Antonio.
And taking a live look out of the Alamo City, a gorgeous start to your Sunday morning, a cold start to your Sunday morning, and if you have allergies, not a great day. Just gonna throw it out there. Eyes so dry, my contacts are literally falling out. But we are gonna have
Feed it in action.
full forecast in just a couple minutes with Sarah's 5. We'll be right back.
Well, we're just a couple of days into the new year, and why not talk about puppies? Nicole's here from the San Antonio Humane Society, and this little girl.
This is Princess. She's about 5 months old, a Chihuahua mix. She's so sweet, seems very happy to be here today, and she has kind of a cute little characteristic. She's only got one eye. She's a little pirate dog.
How did she lose the eye?
You know, I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how she came to us recently. She was in a house that just had too many dogs, and they brought some of them to the San Antonio Humane Society to find their new homes.
Okay, well, if you'd like a new puppy for the new year, you can adopt her. What you got going on to ring in the new year?
Well, the holiday season is coming to a close, but we hope that people will still think about the pets at the San Antonio Humane Society who are still looking for their forever home. So if you are so inclined, you can look at our wish list. Our Amazon wish list is updated continuously, so if you'd like to make a donation, you can get some good ideas of items. Everything from newspaper to wet cat and dog food is on the wish list.
Yeah, so even though Christmas shopping season obviously is over with, though, but it continues with y'all, and that's the simplest way to shop is Amazon wish list. Couple of clicks and it goes right to them exactly what they need.
Exactly.
So if you'd like more information about that, what they need, or this little one, as you said, the little pirate, you can head on over to the San Antonio Humane Society at 4804 Fredericksburg Road, 226-7461. Thank you, dear.
Thank you so much.
I hope someone adopts Princess and gives her a little crown.
So cute, you know, because the lady was wearing the black shirt. You couldn't almost see Princess's face.
Oh, I know.
But she looks so precious. So.
Yes, she does.
She is rocking that pirate look, by the way.
Yeah, no, she needs to rock her princess look with a little tiara.
She does. She needs a home. So thanks to Mike and the SA Humane Society. And thanks to the sunshine, because we are going to warm up nicely today. It is cold, though, temporarily. It's 38 degrees in San Antonio, 38 in Pleasanton. It's just above freezing up in Kerrville. It's 33 in Hondo, 42 in Uvalde. Temperatures are already starting to get up into the 40s, even into the 50s in some places. So we will anxiously await the warm up. We've got tons of sunshine today. So that means high temperatures will be comfortable in the afternoon. In fact, we could see a high right near 75 in downtown San Antonio. Could be in the low 70s up in Leon Springs, Bernie, Timberwood Park, the higher elevations, just a couple of degrees cooler. And then out across parts of the south side of Bexar County, Elmendorf at 75, Von Army at 74 this afternoon. So again, it's a copy and paste forecast. Yesterday, we started off right at about 40 degrees. In the afternoon yesterday, we were able to warm up to 72, but because of that sunshine, we'll be able to be a couple more degrees warmer in the afternoon, near 74, and then it'll get cold this evening. So make sure to bring the jacket with you all day. first for now and then again in the evening hours. Outside across the nation, it is fairly quiet. There's a bit of a snowstorm across New England right now, not just because the Patriots lost, but we are seeing that high pressure system really moving into place, and that's going to allow for beautiful sunny skies. Unfortunately, though, it does come with a bit of a caveat, and that is that we desperately need rain, and this ridge of high pressure is just going to dry out our atmosphere. So although we do have a front that's on the way and that will make it here by Tuesday, it's not going to be bringing us any chance for rain. You can see that front here. It's just slightly colder behind the front, so this is definitely a cool front. It's not an Arctic blast of air, but it is going to drop our temperatures a little bit on Tuesday and Wednesday. Yesterday's mountain cedar count was out of this world. Past 20,000 pollen grains per cubic meter of air. And with that front moving through on Monday evening into Tuesday, that's going to take all the trees that are pollinating up in the hill country and push that pollen southward into San Antonio. So I do think that on Tuesday, we are going to unfortunately see the pollen count still pretty high. Like I said, drought conditions around San Antonio, moderate drought, severe drought across the hill country, and extreme drought out toward Uvalde. So Texas could use a good drink of water. That first front, not going to bring us any rain, but the second front, arriving possibly on Friday night or Saturday morning, timing is still a little uncertain, is looking a little bit better as far as thunderstorm chances go. For now, it's 30%, but that may be boosted up as we get a clearer picture on rain chances. Hopefully it'll be boosted up because we could use that rain as I just showed you.
It would be nice to get the rain.
It really would be, Stephanie.
For allergy sufferers.
Yeah, I just want to get the pollen out of here.
That would help
I want
as
to
well.
enjoy the sunshine because now every time I go outside, I feel like I'm just making it worse.
Yeah, good thing, no matter what, mountain cedar season usually ends by Valentine's Day.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. 8:50, 38 degrees out.
And several animals stranded in the Australian wildfires were saved and rescued by the Irwin family. How many total they have rescued? That's still ahead.
And let's take a look at those lotto numbers. Pick 3 is 713. Fireball is 8. Daily 4, 1366. Fireball is 9.
Cash 5, 5, 24, 26, 32, 34. And your Powerball numbers 1, 11, 21, 25, 54, Powerball 7, Power Play 2. Good luck. Keeping your child involved in organized sports teams, a great boost for their cardiovascular health. Tomorrow on GMSA, our Erica Hernandez explains why there's been a drop in participation and how you can stay involved.
And take a look at that. We're at 50 degrees. We already jumped up by 12 degrees in just the last hour. So you know we're going to warm up nicely. We'll be close to 74 this afternoon. Double dose of cold fronts. First one's going to be dry and really only drop temperatures in the 60s. Second one has the possibility for some storms. And a little personal news, I will be out the next 2 weekends because I'm getting married.
Yay!
So Justin or Mike will be here. So I'll miss you guys until then.
Well, we're excited for you, Sarah.
Thank you.
All right, well, the family of the late crocodile hunter Steve Irwin continuing his legacy of rescuing and saving wildlife that's in danger.
The Irwin family have now rescued and treated more than 90,000 animals. Many of them were injured in Australia's recent devastating wildfires.
Robert Irwin said on social media that Ollie, an orphan platypus, was patient number 90,000 at the Australia Zoo's Wildlife Hospital. The family owns and operates the zoo. Robert Irwin also wrote, quote, "With so many devastating fires within Australia, my heart breaks for the people and wildlife who lost so much. Nearly a third of koalas in the state of New South Wales may have been killed, unfortunately, in the bushfires."
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
It's amazing all the work that they're doing, though.
It is, and I was somebody who watched Steve Irwin's show when I was a kid and absolutely loved him on television, and it is inspiring to see the work that his family is still doing. And this is obviously the Hollywood star. Steve Irwin got a Hollywood star.
Yeah.
So
Legacy lives on. Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to miss you the next 2 weekends.
Yes, congrats to our Sarah.
Congratulations. Good weather for the wedding?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I think so.
We're keeping our fingers crossed. Congrats, Sarah.
Thank you, guys.